did you want? Fuck it. Thank you.
So I'm gonna try and be here, but I don't know if I am.
Okay. What's going on?
That's the stupid fucking Wi-Fi, man. I have this complicated, retarded ass system, which is, I guess, my own fault. And when it stops working, it takes like an hour to get working again.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Server's up, right?
I have no idea.
Oh great, no, fucking ACC crashed. Today's just not a good day.
Not a good day, huh?
Yeah, I woke up, the AC in the master bedroom's leaking.
You have to be way quiet if you're gonna be like in and out of here, okay? I mean,
What?
go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom.
I don't need to go to the bathroom. But thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I woke up, our fucking AC is leaking. Called the dudes, like, oh, we can't go out there till tomorrow. I'm like, you know, it's 108 degrees today, right? Like, thanks. Is it Milka or Kit Kat?
Kit Kat.
It's just a shitty fucking day for everything. Okay. I'm gonna send you a new link for that stupid room. Maybe it'll work better this time.
Alright. Right back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to New World Sim Racing Pint Series from Misano. I believe this is in Italy.
It is
Uh, th- this is Pint 5, Week 5. I believe it's 5 out of 8 weeks. Here at Misano in the rain. We've got a pretty full grid today. Looks like 20 cars on track for practice right now. We're fixing to switch over to qualifying. We run a multi-driver split qualifying. So you're going to have the amateurs first, then your silver drivers, and then your pros will be third. So we're going to sit here for about another 40 seconds or so. Then it'll switch over to qualifying. And your AM drivers will head out on track. They'll have the first 10 minutes. As long as the driver reaches the start-finish line before that 10-minute mark is over, they're allowed to finish that lap and then bring it back to the pit, at which point the silver drivers will take to the track. So we're just going to wait on that. With us today, we got Mr. Tiago Alves.
Pleasure, always a pleasure. How are you doing? How's everyone doing? Is everyone doing having a great weekend? That's always the goal.
My weekend has been about like the Misano weekend. It's been pretty rainy here in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I
didn't
know
know it actually rained in Oklahoma.
we get everything in Oklahoma. We get rain, we get snow. It's 115 in the summer and negative 10 in the winter.
Oh, it actually
Tornadoes.
snows in Oklahoma.
Tornadoes, earthquakes, you name it, we got it.
Jesus.
So
No,
it's a good
the
time.
snow actually astonishes me. I didn't know it actually snowed. Nice. I never seen snow in my life. I think everyone knows that, but
Well, yeah. I imagine Brazil doesn't get a whole lot of snow, do they?
nope. Only on the south and like once every 5 years. It's not really snow though, but close enough. I just want to bring the attention to Mr. D. Basden, who's also named Carbon on Twitch. Very good watch and very fast dude. New guy.
Yep, we got a couple of famous people in here with us now.
Yes, we do.
And you said Danny Bison, Mr. Carbon. We have our own Mr. Nicholas Alvarado, who yesterday took part in a SRO esports race at Donington. Finished in the points.
Yeah.
So
Finished
really
top 10.
Really happy to see that. So as our AMs take to the track, I think we're watching Peter Boostron right now.
Nice job.
Because we are affiliates now, we're going to do some predictions.
Well, can I throw my prediction in?
No, because I'm going to ask you, out of the AM class,
Or that?
give me 2 people that you think are close, and we're going to see who chat thinks is going to qualify higher.
Very good question, actually. I would say Dorshius and Bruce Hopkins. Dorshius with an Audi, though.
That's good. They're pretty evenly matched.
But I think the Audi is gonna have trouble. But still, let's go with that.
Well, it looks like it's not wet out there right now, so it looks like they have a dry fast track.
Oh, then I keep it. That is probably the best matchup.
So we'll Dorcius and Hopkins. You've got a minute to decide who you think's going to be the higher qualifier. We know Bruce. Bruce is fast. Bruce is getting faster every week.
Yep.
I know he won the first 3 races in AM. I don't remember if he won last week. I've slept since then.
Let me get data.
So I can't remember who won the AM class last week. I want to say Bruce was leading, but then he got a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit.
Oh,
so I think he
got a drive-through.
He did. He gave that one away at Imola.
True.
But still, 3 out of the 4 previous weeks we've had, Bruce Hopkins has pretty much run away with the AM class. We had, who was it? Brian Yang. Brian Yang was one of the new additions to the series, and he's in the AM class. We feel like he should be a silver at least. But I believe he's the one who won last week.
Yes. Results from last week: Brian Young first, Dimitri Dorsch second, and Bruce Hopkins third.
There you go. So yeah,
Sounds
out of Bruce and Dorsh's, get your votes in. Looks like nobody's got a vote in.
I want to throw a very fun fact to people that think that they are not cut out to racing because they are too old or too afraid or too slow. When we first found Bruce Hopkins, he was afraid to be on the track. Now he pretty much like is top 3 on his category every week.
Absolutely. I battle with Bruce regularly in our Monday night races.
Yeah.
We
And
did.
even more, he's like 60 some years old. So never too old, boys. Never too old.
Lukey, you're not too old. You're probably younger than I am. I don't want to hear that.
Can we use swear words in this stream?
And Lukey can't race because he gets murdered every week.
It's an honest question. Can we actually use swear words in this stream?
We kind of try to keep it family friendly for the most part. They leak out occasionally. I think Paul let an F-bomb fly last week.
That was unplanned. It's because my fucking mic didn't work.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it was.
Sounds good. I'm not gonna throw those in.
And today AC decided to stop working in the worst heat wave in Seattle in history.
No.
If they sneak out, they sneak out. What are you gonna do?
So I feel like
yes, Blaine Thiago is not racing today.
I'm not racing today. Sorry, brother. I'd rather be mental healthy than racing in Misano.
Thiago, I took Wednesday off of work. No, I took Thursday off of work for mental health day, and it was one of the best things I've done in a long time.
See, that is always a good investment.
I had a rough day Wednesday, and Thursday woke up, and I was like, nope, not today. And I took the day off and stayed home and vegged out and played video games all day. And it was fantastic. I went back to work Friday, feeling better. Bjorn Durand into P1. Dorsch's P2, Chin 3 is P3, Hopkins currently P4.
I don't think he gave the lap he wants. Maybe now.
Yeah, Bruce is coming across the line. He should improve.
No, I think he ran a little wide and invalidated in one of the corners.
Oh.
Which is really unfortunate because I thought he would be a little bit faster.
Dorsch just letting Bjorn go by. But Durand, the Belgium.
The Belgium connection.
It is a fast track. It was raining in practice, so I think ACC simulates the transition from wet to dry over the weekend, so you're going to get a really, really green track.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, they simulate the entire race weekend.
Yeah, so it's very slippery. I've seen a couple of people get a little loose in some of the turns. Misano has a lot of high-speed turns, and depending on your setup, it's easy to get loose. Which gets me excited for having a wet race.
I was making the rounds earlier, stopping by some of the other guys' streams, and Sadie's nervous, and Carl Big is nervous.
Yes.
Carl said, I'm great in optimal conditions, but in the rain, and you never know what it's going to throw at you because we got a medium weather modifier, so it could dry out, it could be a monsoon. You don't know.
That's the fun of it.
I'm hoping for monsoon.
I know, right? I want to see lots of spins and some crashes, and I just want to see people struggle this week.
That's
they've had it easy the first 4 races of the season. It's been optimal conditions.
There was Imola. It was never easy.
Well, I feel like it was easy. Sitting in the broadcast booth, it was nice and sunny.
Something wrong.
Well, Ferris isn't good. Come on.
Oh, whoa.
Confirmed.
I just received a note saying shots fired. Carry on.
As a moderator of Ferris's channel, and a subscriber of his channel as well, I feel like I can say that.
You can say whatever you want. Nobody's ever gonna dare go against you or Paul.
Bruce Hopkins, an entire second up on his best time.
Nice.
So let's see if you can bring that back in.
Finish Bruce.
Because that'll jump him up to P1. Now 1.2 seconds up. So he's looking at a 37-2 on the board if he can bring that in.
Do it, Bruce. Do it.
And he might be able to make another lap if he hurries.
Job, finish it. Finish strong.
1.3 up.
Yeah, I think he has enough. He has enough time. He'll be crossing that line in about 8 seconds here, so he should have enough time to go for another one.
Yep.
Can I be biased? Go, Bruce.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're always biased.
Bruce Hopkins up into P1.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
We're not here for fair reporting.
3/10 up. So everybody's up on their time currently, except for Bruce. Oh, looks like Boostron's lost all his. He's back into the pit, so Boostron will stick with his 139.5.
It's probably going to be raining on the start of the race by the weather forecast.
Yes,
Dylan Beveridge in the Maka. Yes,
that is Dylan in the McLaren, and yes, it most likely will be raining for the actual race. But I think qualifying's on Saturday and the race is on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Yeah. Practice is Friday, qualifying Saturday, race Sunday.
From the practice server we set up with the race conditions, every time I restarted it has always been raining. So fingers crossed. What I'm looking for is rain, either rain going into dry or dry going into rain.
We've got Scott Chin 7/10 up on his time. Lost about a 10th coming around that last corner, but that could jump him up into P2.
Oh, nice.
So the Aston's putting it down.
And he got it.
He did.
Job, Scott Shin. Good to know. Third purple
Love
sector.
to see Scott Chin up there on the leaderboard. So that means that Bruce Hopkins won your prediction there.
Sounds good. Oh, Twitch translates automatically. It's written in Portuguese to me. I love it.
All right, Tiago. As a former silver driver, now a pro.
Lies.
I need 2. Okay, so as a former silver driver, now the bottom of the pros.
Thank you.
Who are 2 silver drivers you think are going to be evenly matched for our prediction?
Silver. Does it have to be? Oh, Paul Miles and Anthony Rados. I don't know if it's Anthony. I'm just throwing out.
Paul Miles is a pro.
Sorry, I saw the wrong skill. Yeah, I do. Brendan Hall and Rados.
So Blaine Hall.
Blaine. Sorry, guys.
And Andrew
we are professionals
Rados.
here, as you can clearly tell.
That's right. We do a lot of homework. We keep track of who is who.
Only myself. I cannot pin this up on those.
Now, Blaine Hall, Tiago, you put in a lot of effort, like in our endurance races and things like that. You practice more than anybody I've seen, right?
Even though I suck in the month.
Blaine Hall puts in twice the effort that you do.
Whoa.
That guy practices, I think, every day. He's on Twitch doing his thing. He's got people watching his laps in the Discord. He's posting up his times all throughout the week. The guy puts in more effort. It makes me tired. Just seeing how much work he does.
It is lovely to see hard workers out there, man. They are not distinguished. They will never be.
Thank you, Anonymous Gifter, for gifting me a sub to our own channel.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, nice.
So whoever that is, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
We thank you, brother.
Hopefully that was random and not directed at you.
It says an Anonymous Gifter is gifting a tier 1 sub to the New World community, so... it wasn't directed at me. It just happened to, because I'm great. So Andrew Rados into P1.
Whoa, so humble.
I know.
Yeah. You have many qualities. Humility is not one of them.
Nope,
I never said I was up.
not in the mix.
I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I had a livery that I designed, featured on the SRO esports race. Thank you very much. They said it
You
was
did.
striking, so
Five subs to mute Turner for the rest of the race.
that's right. 5 subs, and I will shut up for the next hour.
Hour, no. Don't do that.
It will be the Paul and Tiago show.
Yeah. No, don't do that. Like, why? Even though you, yeah. Even though 5 subs would be awesome, guys. Keep
I
the eye on
kid.
that.
So Rados P1 in your silvers, 6/10 up on the time. Victor, over a second behind him, but he's 6/10 up on his time. So Rados is looking for a mid 35, low 35 at his
wow.
current pace. I mean, he is flying out there. And Paul just had a new browser source.
Yep. Technical difficulties. Don't worry. We're
Yeah.
professional.
Yep. Curiosity, Lexus is unbelievable on this track. Audi on the dry is pretty decent as well. McLaren's also very good.
Rados improves to a 35.439.
Woo.
So almost a full second up on Victor.
Whoa.
Still waiting for Chameleon and Curzon to get it in gear. Blaine Hall's in the pit. Maybe making some sort of an adjustment there. Headed back out. Excuse me.
That is
Yeah,
surprising.
why is Sandman not racing today? That's a very good
I don't
question.
know. We should ask him.
We should. Where is
Where
he?
is him? Where is he?
Mr. Sandman?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you guys talking about. Who's this dude?
Well, apparently Blaine Hall is going to challenge you for your title.
So this is interesting. ACC weather predictor says it's going to start raining in about 10 minutes. So we are going to get some rain towards the end of quali. I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Minutes.
Guys, can you imagine pros starting behind AMs? It can very well
Yes.
happen.
Yes, we do actually have that happen regularly.
No, I mean all the pros.
I somehow think that Alvarado is going to qualify ahead, whether it's pouring rain or not.
That is
So-
actually true.
Cossett headed out of the pit, hasn't put in a valid lap time yet. He's brand new to the community. Just joined the other day and got added to the series. So don't know anything about him, but he finds himself in the silver category.
It is an interesting pink color. I like it.
He's filling in for Brendan McVeigh in that light blue shade. Brendan McVeigh decided to post pictures and say, "I'm at the lake," so
That is
nuts
lovely.
to you guys.
It
That
is
is
summer. I don't blame
Yeah.
him. I mean,
Don't
what are
blame
we
him at
doing
all.
here?
Playing. I want to commend him. That's a nice thing to do.
Hanging out with the family on a Sunday. Good for him.
What else do I? If he has beers, he has the perfect word right there.
Emilio and Curzon still behind a couple of the AM drivers. I don't know if they're just struggling with the track or what's going on here.
I mean,
Emilio usually pretty quick.
Is the Aston bad in here?
I expect the front engine cars to be good here, because you're going to be stable through all of the turns. You're going to have a lot of downforce. I actually
but
would
what about
expect some of the mid-engine cars to suffer a little bit, especially going through that. What is it? T9, 10. I need to figure out a track map.
Yeah, the fast left-hander that everybody's going to get track cut warnings on.
Yep.
Eat that curb and
Yeah, 11, 12, 13. So that's the one where you basically have that little kink in turn 11. 12 is basically not even a turn, and then 13 you have to turn and brake really hard at the same time. So I can see some of the mid-engine cars kind of struggling.
Emilio pulling off into the sand.
I don't think the
No.
Aston would struggle around here.
Don't. No. Keep rolling, brother. Keep rolling. But my question is, does the turbo lag hinders the axis on the Aston here since they are so important in some corners?
Maybe. I don't drive the Aston because I personally hate it.
True, both.
There's only a couple of slow corners. Most of the corners on this track are pretty quick. I don't know how much. I mean, if you look at the M class, you got 2 Astons on top there.
True.
Yeah.
Actually, a good point.
But then in the silver class, you know, where you would think that stuff starts to matter more, you've got Chimilio sitting down in P7.
Yeah. That
So it
is
looks
the
like
thing,
he's
because
struggling.
he's probably one of the fast dudes in silver, and he's struggling. Either he's very bad or the car's very bad.
Yeah,
He's playing too much Ratchet and Clank.
The Porsche is not the best car for this track.
Nope.
At all. Bentley is
Not at
good.
all.
Bentley is very good here, actually.
Yep.
Aston is pretty good. McLaren's going to be good in anything that has fast corners.
True.
Um,
Lexus is amazing.
yes, Lexus is really good here. So, you know, there's some cars that are good. Lambo, again, is one of the ones that I don't expect to do really well here. But we'll see what Mr. Newcomer Alien has to say about that.
You say this as they are rolling. Pros on the track, boys.
Do we have any silvers that are going to finish up the last lap? Looks like we got Brian Curzon still out there, and I think Victor's out there in front of him.
Victor's in.
Yeah, Victor is still on his lap, but
Victor's
he's
down on his time.
down on his best time. Curzon is about half a second up, so he actually might move up a little bit. Actually, not enough time.
No, it won't move him at all.
He has to
He
pull a
is-
miracle through the
he
last
is
sector.
still improving.
Yeah.
Greatly.
Yeah, so he's actually, as I say that, about almost a second up, so he might move up a spot.
Amazing job.
Yeah, if he can bring in what he's got now, he'll move up to P8. Possibly
Let's
P7. He might jump Chimilio.
You
he
love
lost.
to see it.
Lost a little bit there. Yep. Into
He-
P7.
so he's going to move 2 spots now into P7.
Yo.
And we missed it, but Blaine Hall took P2 away from Victor there at the end.
All right.
Yeah, blame that on the person controlling the camera.
So, for our prediction, that means that Rados qualified higher. So whoever voted on Hall there, sorry about your points.
So
We'll be taking those.
I'm curious to see if the Lambo number 52 of Mr. Baston?
Bison?
I cannot
Bison's carbon.
pronounce name.
Just call him Carbon. I don't know.
Carbon.
Is going to beat out Alvarado for pole.
He's fairly good, yeah. I think those should be our 2 for the Twitch, right?
All right, you've got 1 minute.
So it looks like we might have some rain starting. I don't see any on the driver's windshields yet. But ACC does officially say it is raining, quote unquote, with rain getting heavier in 10 minutes, by which time qualifying will be over. Things won't really matter.
Yep. I mean, the thing to keep in mind is it's still a fast track, so we haven't gotten optimal yet.
It is
Normally
still
by
a
this
fast
time in
track.
qualifying, we get up to optimum.
Yeah, so it's slippery. Still not seeing any rain on the windshields, but I don't know if that's just because I'm spectating and ACC doesn't
Nope.
render that.
No rain yet.
But yeah, no rain, nothing on track yet.
I just want to point to a sleeper because I heard Mr. Groom is awesome in this track.
Sure, Eric Groom in his Lamborghini. He had a really good race last week at Imola,
Oh yeah,
hounding Alvarado there for a long time.
very good driver. Very
I'm
good
sorry, did you
driver.
say pounding? Or hounding?
Hounding.
Oh,
I mean, pounding is after the race, but
Oh, fuck.
you know.
There go PG-13.
So currently,
That's okay.
Carbon, Danny, whatever you want to call him, T3.
We've said worse.
Yeah. We've already had an F-bomb drop.
Oh yeah, who was this? How
I know.
awful of him.
What a dick.
Oh!
So Chameleon in the chat saying he's going to run around the back this evening.
Rubbing on the back?
He's going to run around in the back. He's going to hang out in the back of the field somewhere.
Sorry.
Alvarado in the pit. Probably
A lot
making
of
some
rubbing
setup
on the
changes
back
there.
and
Oh yeah.
pounding. So track has actually gone green. So it is. I see rain coming down now. The track is getting green, so I expect it to go greasy next, which is really going to hurt a lot of these people. As you see, Danny going wide, going into the last turn there, so he's already starting to lose some time, and he looks like... I thought he was going to pull over and change some setups, but maybe not
Grim
yet.
currently P4, but 6 seconds down on his time.
Yeah, so this is quite literally the worst qualifying conditions you could have. Warm track, switching from dry to wet, but not quickly enough to where you can go on wet tires. It's in that weird in-between.
Hey man, they're pros for a reason. They should be able to figure this out.
Yeah, so it looks like almost everyone's in the pits other than we got Groom, Alvarado, who just went out, and then Danny, who actually invalidated his lap already, and he's not even halfway through the lap.
Yep. Number 8 on the track, Mr. Carl Bick. For some reason, I used like a Texans accent. Nobody cares.
That is not a Texas accent.
Hey, can you do our European accent, Tiago?
That depends. Which country?
Yeah, I was gonna say Europe has a lot of countries in it.
I don't care. Just pick one. Look at all the follows coming in.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, everybody.
Welcome, brothers. Welcome, y'all.
Big Skill wants you to do an Italian accent.
I can definitely do an Italian accent.
Nick Alvarado just backed across the track into the sand. So, not having a good time out there is Mr. Alvarado.
Yep, and he is still in the pits. So this is that weird time where you're kind of thinking, I mean, it's not wet enough for wets, but now you have to start changing tire pressures because the track's green.
Eric Groom going to the pits. He doesn't feel good about his tires.
Going into the pits. He is P4 though.
Yeah.
So right now the only people on a valid lap are Paul Miles, Carl Big, and Billingsley in the McLaren. Oh, and Sauer, who I always forget about. I'm sorry.
To be completely honest, I don't think anyone that hasn't put a good lap will gonna put a good lap because the track sucks right now.
Yeah.
Qualifying position is not going to matter as much once we get to the race and it's actually raining, because at that point everything goes out the window.
Yeah, and there's some decent passing opportunities on Misano. It is a wide track, and you have some pretty good, especially going to that hairpin that Paul Miles is coming up on. That's a pretty good place to outbrake people. That whole T12-13, if you can get a good draft, you can outbrake people going into there. So
I've been 3 wide through that section before, and it's doable but scary. So
I'm pretty sure I was there.
Yeah.
It's doable, it's scary, but it's racing. That's what I expect. I expect somebody to send it.
Surprising, Manito Alvarado in P5.
P5, and he's on an out lap.
So yeah, but he likes to come in at the end and steal it on the last lap. Yeah, we've seen him do it multiple times. You think, man, Alvarado must be struggling, and then he comes in and steals pole on the last lap.
Paul Miles crossing the line, not improving at all over his best. We got Dylan coming up to the last corner now, who is improving a little bit. Should move him up to
He's
9th.
Invalidated.
Oh, has he?
He's got a red time.
Billingsley coming through.
Billingsley coming through. He is also not going to improve unless my timing screen is broken again.
Nope.
Yeah, nope.
I see raindrops, brothers.
Yes.
Yeah, nobody's got a better time going right now.
No, so the track conditions are so well, let's face it, crap that nobody's improving on their previous times. Alvarado's down half a second. Groom is about on par with his last time, but he's not going to improve either. At least not enough to move him anywhere.
All down the rainbow is what it is. It's going to be it.
Yeah, Nick's half a second down coming into the hairpin.
There's no way on the rain you can do like 35s. There's no way.
Yeah, so
the Silvers are going to win out on this.
Stands is on provisional pole with a 135.2. Blaine Hall with a 35.4. And yeah, I don't see anyone honestly improving on any of those times as it stands. I mean, we have about 30 seconds, so this is pretty much the last lap you're going to get.
Now, as a silver driver, somebody like Blaine Hall, are you worried about starting in front of the pros?
No. One thing
we know you're not because you drive like a jerk, but
I hold my lines, and in the words
Brian Curzon,
in the words of Senna, if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver.
That's fair.
If car gap.
Yes, exactly. If there's a car, there's a gap. If there's a gap, there's also a car. So
Ayrton Shoemaker.
So Dylan Sauer, well, he was a 10th up on his time, but he's lost that.
So our starting grid is going to be Rados P1, Hall P2, Danny P3, Eric Groom in P4, Alvarado P5, Victor in 6th place. Yeah. I like to see that. He's one of the newcomers. Carl Big in P7, so that's going to be different from last week. Billingsley P8, Ferris Sadie, who seems to have lost his mojo in the Audi, P9, and then bringing up P10 is Dylan Beveridge.
Yeah, I was checking in with Ferris earlier before we started live here, and he says that the Audi struggles here a little bit in general, but when you add rain and stuff to it, he's going to have a hard time.
Excuses.
So it seems like Imola Part 2 for Ferris.
Alvarado.
Nick Alvarado, style points.
Yeah, well, the track did just go greasy. So,
Dylan Sauer is up on his time.
Dylan Sauer's, but I think he just lost it coming out of that corner.
He just lost it all.
So, that's not going to move him anywhere. Paul Miles is giving up also.
Nicholas Alvarado taking the boards out.
There we go.
So and it is raining. Rain. That is proper rain. So this is interesting because, again, rain, 15 minutes, the rain goes down. So are we going to see dry in about half an hour?
No, because I don't think so. Because the way ACC settings work, I believe the server is set with a 0.05 rain, which I believe makes that the base amount. So I don't know that it completely dry out.
Well,
I don't know. We'll see.
That's what predictions are for.
Surprisingly, Carl Big P7. Whoa. Track conditions must really, it really got a toll on some fast boys.
Yeah, they essentially had their qualifying cut in half.
Yes.
Because the rain started to come in and you have to make changes based on the weather changing. So you had your out lap, that's about a minute and a half, and then you had maybe 1 or 2 laps before it started to rain.
Yes.
And that's your banker lap, and that's what most of the guys set, and then they never could improve. And they went in and changed tires or changed the setup because of the rain starting, and then you just never can improve.
I'd just like to throw this out there. If anyone has a clip, or not even a clip, if you have any soundbite of Thiago making the frightened sound that I can cut and add as an alert, please send it to us.
No.
Come on, Rob. You gotta have one of those, Rob.
I want to hear the.
Fucking hell! I'm gonna get up here that I gain more.
All right. Be right back. So Rados and Hall, 2 silvers, taking them out on their warm-up lap.
Bonus points if it includes the words "oh no."
I mean, if you didn't get any from the 24 hours of Nürburgring, then I don't think we'll ever find one.
When's our next endurance race? I'm sure we're gonna get one then.
Well, we're talking about the July 10th, 24 hours.
Formation lap, and we're already seeing some people go a little bit wide.
Uh-oh.
This is gonna be interesting.
Rejoin the session because I can't go back to the garage again.
Just AZC things.
Thank you, Kunos.
Yeah, so the track looks pretty wet. Hopefully everyone remembered to set their pressures correctly and use wet tires, not dry. I have made that mistake before.
The track is showing wet. 23 degrees Celsius.
Fun. Yeah, I fully expect two things. One, a spin on the first lap. And at some point in the race, somebody will eat it into 12 and 13.
Oh yeah, somebody's going to go wide. They're going to lose traction, slide off into the sand. Maybe eat that wall on the far side.
Guys, you were talking about trademarks on mine.
There we go. Mr. Tiago Elva's in the house.
Let's go.
So
I got the back.
One corner left. Blaine Hall with that striking livery. Oh, geez. No, I do not want to see a Tour de France recreation today. Just waiting for the green lights here. And we are off.
Go.
So far, a clean start from everyone. Rados got a pretty bad start, actually. Blaine Hall passes him going to turn one, and he does hold it together.
I wonder if Rados is a little bit rattled after that little off-track excursion he did in the warm-up lap.
I mean, it is the rain. If you don't have your pressure set correctly, he's actually falling back. Looks like Danny moved up to P3 already, and he's already looking at the back of Rados.
Yep, you got Alvarado right behind him. Groom gets pushed a little wide with Carl Big on the outside. Be kind of slotting in, single file a little bit. Carl Big going to try to make a move here on Groom. Looks like he's got him overlapped. He's going to slide by. Groom's going to slot in behind him there.
All miles with the send.
Yeah, so Carl Big moving up. Now in 6th position, or 5th, because he just got past Groom. Alvarado up into 4th. Danny up into 3rd. Blaine Hall, however, is actually pulling away. He's already got a second gap to P2, so he's had a hell of a start, especially considering it's raining, and he said he wasn't comfortable in the rain, really.
Ooh, two cars side by side on the straight.
Everybody keeping it nice and tidy so far on the first lap. Yeah, Rados looks like he's having some issues out there. He's got a couple cars bunched up behind him. He's letting Blaine just run away.
Yeah, you got to think, how much is he holding up the field now? You got Alvarado on the back of Danny. Carl's catching up.
Oh, Nick looking to the inside there. Not enough room to make something happen. You got to think, how many laps does it take in the wet to get your tires warmed up enough pressure?
It takes about at least
700 laps, about an hour.
At least 3, really, to get a good sense of where the grip is and get the pressures up.
So these guys are just trying to get everything dialed in and make sure they got everything set right. Oh, it looks like we got some incidents back at the back here.
Yellow flag. Huge
That's
on
not
the
going to
hairpin.
be good.
It looks like Chamilio is actually fallen back quite a bit.
I think Bjorn Duran was involved either on the giving or receiving end.
It is the rain. A lot of these people have not raced in the rain. I think it's the first rain race for some of those the people in the race today.
So it's kind of a bit of a chain reaction here. I'm trying to figure out what happened. Oh, we had somebody get...
Sour spun.
Victor spun.
Or Victor.
Yeah, Victor had a spin, which causes kind of a backup there, and everybody kind of gets into each other. Like Bruce bumps somebody.
Yeah, I think someone touched Dylan Zawa, a Lamborghini. It is Peter Bustron?
Yep. Yeah, Peter
touched Zawa.
Peter spun Sour and then got rear-ended by Dylan Beveridge, and then Keith Brubaker came sliding through just for effect.
Yep.
So that's kind of shaking up the back end of the field there.
One incident and tons of bad luck.
Yeah,
That'll be
at the front,
a fun one for the stewards.
Yeah, I don't envy people on the review team. No, wait. Damn it.
Oh, wait.
So
Wayne
Rattles
Hall is gone.
Yeah, and Rattles is still backing up the field, so he's about 2 seconds down now on P3, on P1, excuse me, but now he's got pretty much P3 through, I want to say 8, right on his rear end.
Yeah, guys, I think the best thing happening right now is Manito Alvarado and Carl Begg. This is a proper fight.
Yeah, I want to see Carl get past Alvarado here, just because I've seen enough of Alvarado in the front.
Yeah, 3 through 8 is a pretty good pack. You know, one slip up from anybody, and you're going to have a bunch of position changes.
Oh,
there.
and Carl goes wide and drifts all the way down T12 and 13. Like I said, I expect a lot of people to take that
up on the inside of him.
Too wide.
He's just getting great train there.
Yeah, he's going to lose some spots from that one, falling all the way down to 7th.
He's going to slot in behind Sadie. Oh, he almost gets rear-ended by Billingsley. Billingsley's back end gets loose there. No, you got Carl.
Because Carl is behind Sadie, which is another proper fighter. This is also interesting.
Yeah, I don't expect Sadie to give any room to pass. I also expect him to spin at some point. So we'll see which one comes first.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's not pleasant in here.
Nick is looking for a way past Danny there. Looking left, looking right. Just not enough room to stick his nose up in there. Just following him. I mean, Danny's brand new to the series. This is his first race. So Nick's going to kind of figure him out. He's going to make a move up the inside here.
Oh, and I think he got tapped by the Lambo
bumped.
there.
He did.
Oh, no.
He got bumped. And now he's going to sit in the middle of the track and hold his brake. Pulls off into a wall. So he went for the dive there.
Yep, went up the inside. Here. Took the spot, but couldn't hold it. And I don't know if I'm going to call that a racing incident or
here's your replay.
Just Danny being a little overly aggressive on the getting that spot back.
So you've got Nick making a move on the inside, and he gets by, but then I think he's overshooting the corner, has to slow down too much, and Danny trying to cut back underneath him just gets into the back end a little bit, and then Nick stuffs it into a wall.
No, proper touch.
As you do.
Yeah, I'm going to call that, well, I don't want to say anything that might affect anything, but that looked like a racing incident to me.
I have more news. Eric Groom actually clipped Nicolas Alvarado after the spin. He might have some damage.
Yeah, he did. He wasn't too hard, but you never know.
Clipping?
Especially in the rain, any kind of damage is going to hurt you quite a bit. And you see Rados going wide again. He's struggling. I wonder if his pressures are set correctly or he just is not comfortable in the rain because he is really struggling.
Yeah, and he's got Danny pressuring him there, so that's not going to help at all.
And Blaine, meanwhile, is just running away. 2.5 seconds out of P2.
Man, take it when you can get it.
Children watching, that's what hard work do. Do that.
Eric Groom's going to put some pressure on Carl Big here.
Yeah, don't give up and just start commentating because you don't feel like racing. That's the cheap way out.
Yeah.
Hey,
don't say, hey, I'm slow. I don't want to do this anymore.
I wasn't talking
If
about
you're
you. I mean,
slow-
I did it first.
True. But you're not slow, I am. And
Agree to
that's where I use the
disagree.
cuss word, but I can't.
I'm just gonna server mute him real quick. All right. Now then, back to the race at hand. Eric Groom is catching up to Carl. He catches up to him, then he loses a little bit of ground. All right, Tiago, you can be a good boy now.
That's not nice.
You gonna be good?
That is
All right.
not nice. You know? Rude. Carry on.
So we got Groom on Big and Danny on Rados. And I don't think Danny's going to get past Rados because he's driving a little bit erratically. Rados, I want to say, kind of sliding coming out of corners. And it's hard to pass when you're not 100% comfortable of, knowing what the person in front of you is going to do.
And further down the pack news, we got Nicholas Alvarado cut up to Paul Miles down in P10 and 11. And Nick is trying to get by Miles, and he's up along side by side here, coming down towards a hairpin. Looks like Nick's going to make that stick. Paul Miles just going to let him go. As Nick tries to work his way back up to the front of the field after having that spin.
Yeah, Victor's going to let Nick go.
I think Victor's
No
going
sense
to
in
let both
fighting.
of them go there.
Yeah, different class.
Let
There's
Miles
not really
go
a
as well.
point. Meanwhile, we got Danny still trying to get past Rados up in P3 and 2.
Yeah, that's an unpleasant visitor to have right now.
Now, he's all over the back of Rados, but you can't really make any moves. Like I said, it's difficult to pass in the rain, especially. And when you're not, you don't know what the person in front of you is going to do. You can't predict their moves. It's sometimes safer to just fall back, push him, make him force him into a mistake, force him to go wide.
Take off
Yeah,
angles.
It's not like most of the guys in this group have been racing together for months and months and months, and you've got some guys that are coming in that are new, and some guys that aren't around very often, and those guys are trying to figure out how each other drive in the rain. So I do not envy them at all. We've got Boostron a single off.
Meanwhile, Blaine still pulling away 3.2 seconds away now in front of P2. So he's just running away with this. Unless Danny can get past Rados pretty quickly, I mean, he might have a tough time catching up to P1.
Got Dylan Beveridge catching up to Greg Billingsley back there in P7, P8. Not close enough to do anything yet, but gaining some time back. And then you've also got Groom on Carl Big.
Yeah, Groom's still hounding Big.
Yeah, he's chopped that gap down from, he was 0.8 back, he's down to about 4. Thiago's got the giggles.
I do because I see you, Paul. I see you.
What? My webcam's not on. What?
I see through you. I'm like an X-ray machine, brother.
Oh. Naughty.
God, I don't see underwear, right? See
This
bones.
is welcome to New World Sim Racing After Dark.
Well, you don't see underwear because I'm not wearing any. It's too hot.
Whoa.
Sorry, I'm not very good right now. Not feeling very good.
And we just lost all our viewers. Channel shut down. Good luck.
No, we just lost the PG-13 thing. Like,
We've
it's down
been
the drain.
canceled. Born Duran catching up to Scott Chin back there in P18.
Yeah, Durant's catching up to Chin, and Sauer actually is catching up to Curzon.
Yeah, Sauer's pretty much blown through he was towards the back of the field. He's worked his way through most of the AM class. And now he's caught up to
So it looks like he's going to
Curzon,
try
like you
and
said.
make a move here going into T1. Does it pretty
Yeah,
easily.
Curzon's just going to let him go. He just moved over.
Yep, different class. No point in fighting.
I have news about forecast. In the next 15 minutes, the rain's gonna decrease a lot.
Yeah,
So we
I'm
might
hoping.
see
Well,
some
that's-
transition.
That's about pit
I am
stop
hoping
time.
for a dry transition, and I'm hoping for it about 15 minutes before the race ends, just to throw everyone
Yeah.
off.
Chameleo's gonna
Oh,
make an attempt on Victor here. Chimileo's on the outside. I don't think he's going to try to go on the outside, but
No, it looks like he actually broke a little bit late going into the hairpin here. And does he get a better exit now? That's the question.
Yeah, question is...
He's catching Victor on the brakes, but on the straightaway, Victor just pulls out on him.
Question is about strategy. Have people like gone full fuel and waited for this transition, or just tried to cut in half like usual?
Yeah, if you don't know what the weather is going to do, you want to. I mean, you're keeping an eye on the weather forecast, and you're trying to pit as late as possible. It runs a little bit wide there, because you don't want to pit and keep your wet tires on, and then have the rain go away, and then your tires are on fire, and you have to pit again.
One extra pit for tires is a good minute and a half added to your timings, and that's a lot in racing.
Yeah, that's a 30-second stop and go is an eternity. I can imagine having to pit an extra time for tires.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So if I'm Danny here, I am personally at least getting really frustrated that I can't get past Rados in P2.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm glad he's not making silly attempts or anything like that, knowing that it's raining out, but
Feels white.
yeah, you've got to be getting frustrated. You know you're losing time. You're watching P1 just get away. But at the same time, you are sitting P1 of your class. So do you need to make a move that might cost you your race?
Lexus is good in the rain. However, it's not as good as it used to be.
Yes.
But
But it was a cheat code, though.
Yeah, it pretty much. It used to drive in the rain like it did in the dry.
Yeah.
You got to the point where if you know it's raining and you don't have a car that's, locked in, just pick the Lexus and you're going to run away with it.
Yeah. Never race with the car, it doesn't matter.
Chimilio ran off. We got Dylan Sauer trying to make a move on Dorcius back here. P13, P14. They're 3 wide down the straight.
So 3 wide going into T10,
Coming up
11,
into the king.
and
Dorcius
12.
backs out. Chimilio scoots by. I mean, those are 3 separate classes running 3 wide down the straightaway. Chimilio is going to run wide again. He's going to start getting track cuts if he's not careful.
More news. The last lap around, Brandon Hall was like 1 second faster than every other guy on the field.
Yeah, Blaine Hall.
Sorry.
Blaine Hall.
Sorry.
It's fine.
So sorry. That is my bad, all right?
It's okay, Terry Alves. It's fine.
Well played, sir.
I'm sure when he watches the broadcast back, he won't be offended at all.
I have no complaints. Well played, sir. Well played.
Yeah, Rob in the chat saying, don't forget to vote for Sandbagger of the Day, Blaine Hall.
Hey!
Not you, you're not racing. You don't get to be voted for.
Yeah, you don't get Sandbagger of the Day today.
I don't like
Any
to
other
lose in
day,
anything.
yes.
I don't like to lose in anything, even like the most Sandbagger. I am the most Sandbagger, what you talking about?
Other than Danny and Andrew Rados up there in 2-3, I mean, your top 12 are all spread out multiple seconds apart.
We do got a little bit of a battle between Durand and Chin down in P18 and 17.
Yeah, the boys at the back of the field are making it spicy. I mean, you got Curzon and Dorcius.
Yeah, the Rand is one of the fastest dudes in the AM class right now, but he got involved in that incident with Dylan Zawa. So he might be doing like a recoup race.
Well, Chin was our P2 in AM class after qualifying, so Chin's no slouch. I mean, Dorcius, I think he was gifted a couple spots because of that incident earlier.
Oh no, Bruce was involved in it. Decides to do some donuts.
Oh!
And he is now parked on the side of the track.
That sounds like Dylan's races this season.
And Chimilio goes wide yet again. So he's going to lose some spots now.
Yeah, I wonder if Chimilio got his pressures wrong and he's having some sort of traction issues.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he was saying in chat before the race that he was going to hang out towards the back of the field, so not too awful surprised considering he didn't have a whole lot of confidence going into it.
Yeah, so
but
now he's
still a little bit surprised.
Curzon, what, less than half a second behind him. So if he goes wide in one more turn, basically, he's going to lose that spot. And as I say that, he goes wide, and there's Curzon getting past him. So I'm gonna say that he's probably got, like you said, some tire pressure issues, or he just picked the wrong tires.
Up there in P2, Danny Bison has gotten by Rados.
Yeah, and now I expect him to fully pull away and just chase down Hall as quickly as he can.
Guys,
I mean, he's already put in almost a second between him and Rados.
And I did the commentator's curse. Forget it. No.
Welcome to the club. This is the fun part. Oh, looks like we have a yellow flag down.
Yeah.
And
it was precisely my point that it just got down the drain.
I've got your replay pulled up here.
Number 22.
It's a bit in the making. And we've been talking about Rados struggling so much. You're coming through this, he gets a little wide and almost loses the back end, and then he has to check up.
Oh.
Someone clip that. Oh, I need that soundbite.
Especially because it's late, because he's watching the broadcast and not the actual
game.
No,
I'm watching. Can I make? Yeah,
you guys. They touch coming down into the braking zone, and Danny gets by.
Yeah, I mean that was a. I'll consider that a clean pass.
That's a racing incident. That's two guys that are pushing hard, and neither one wants to back out of it. So.
Yeah, and he's already taken a second and a half out of Blaine Hall's lead. So. Danny is chasing him down quick.
Yep, it's time to go to work.
I like to be. I am.
Eric
again,
Groom.
commentator's curse. Damn.
Eric Groom almost killed Carl Big going into the hairpin. Tiago, why are you trying to curse people?
Carry on. I'm not gonna hurt him anymore.
So. We don't actually have a prescribed pit window. It is open. We don't, because we do a lot of our racers are amateur, I want to say, or newer to sim racing. We don't want to impose a pit window, so you can pit whenever you want. What we do force, I believe, are mandatory tire change. As Blaine Hall goes wide down to the last turn, so we do enforce a tire change. However, because the track is now damp and rain is actually going down, question is, what do you do? Do you try to go on slicks first? Do you just hold out to see what the forecast is going to be like?
I'm running my wet tires as long as I can until I start seeing a dry line form. Because if there's no dry line, you don't want to put slicks on.
Nope.
Right. But the other issue is, have you filled up with fuel, or did you do half?
Oh, we got a car wide. Oh, that's Dylan Beveridge fresh out of the pit. Running a little wide.
When I do ACC races, and I don't really think about strategy because it's 30-second pit stop, whether you take tires, and fuel, or just tires. So I usually do whatever the calculator says I'm going to need for the whole race, and I just do half and half. What happens in cases like this, though, is if you need to run longer than 30 minutes, if you need to run 40, 45 even, you're not going to have enough fuel. So you're kind of forced to pit halfway through, which actually might end up hurting you in the end. Because if you pit 30 minutes in, leave your wet tires on because it's a damp track, and then 10 minutes later it's dry, you have to pit again.
They have caught Blaine. His lead is gone. So either Blaine is making mistakes, or because Rados is not falling that far behind Danny, so I wonder if Blaine is starting to struggle a little bit, or if he knows that Carbon's loose and he's
Brendan's last lap is like only 1 second behind his best, so I don't think it was like egregious mistakes.
42. I mean, he did run a second slower than Danny did on the last lap, so
I'm gonna
Carl Big into the pit.
Say that I think he's running low on fuel, and I know the McLaren, when it gets low on fuel, it gets to be a little loose and squirrely. Because he's struggling. Loose. Yeah, he is struggling to get to put the power down. And we actually have one disqualification, Keith Brubaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Keith. I think he ran on that access road.
Oh no.
in the 11, 12, 13 area, or he had too many off tracks and the game disqualified him.
It says driving the wrong way, so it can be the cut after the.
Yeah. So Carl Big has pit and is headed out now. So a bit of an undercut. I wonder if he's changing tires.
Bit of an undercut. If it does go to dry, he is going to have a bad time. I mean, that's a huge gamble that is going to stay wet for the rest of the race at that point, because you can't go on slicks now. There's no way.
Sorry, guys. Number 22, he did exactly it. He spun in the fast right-hander. He tried to cut the whole track and got out on the other side. And that's a given.
That'll do it. So yeah, Blaine has got Danny and Rados right behind him. And then Sadie is not very far behind.
Where's Sadie P4? That is lovely to see. The last thing Blaine Hall wants is this.
Oh, we've got Dylan Sauer, Paul Miles, take 2.
So Danny actually goes up the inside into turn 15, 16, and does take that P1 spot. So he's now going to basically try and put as much distance as he can between him and P2. And Blaine's not holding up Rados. So whatever happened to that McLaren, he is starting to struggle quite a lot.
3 times commentators curse. I was going to say that the last thing Blaine Hall wants is to give Mr. Carbon clean air, and in 1 second, it happened. Sorry, guys.
Oh no, Eric Groom. Eric Groom's in the grass.
Oh. Let me pull up the video.
We can find out what happened to him.
Of course I can.
Oh, and he does have some damage. So that's going to hurt.
Mr. Eric Grimm.
Yep, here it is. He just, the back end of his car just gets loose coming into that that fast left-hander.
No, he also lost on the hairpin.
So he's coming in and
Yeah,
gets on the curb and
I think he touched the grass a
spins
little
it
bit
and
there.
stuffs it into the wall. Same place that Nick Alvarado stuffed it into the wall.
Yes. Funny thing about Misano, the track in itself doesn't have pools, but the curbs build massive pools of water. So on wet, it's very hard to use curbs in there.
Nick Alvarado up to P5.
He is up to P5, but he's got Ferris in front of him, and I know for a fact he's not going to get past Ferris easily.
Yeah.
And one thing that I noticed that I didn't really catch before is it is 9 p.m. So this race actually will transition into dark.
Ah.
It looks like Nick just got a bad run out of a corner. It took Billingsley into just on the inside. It's a good pass by Nick.
Let's get a grip at that race in Misano, which is a technical track, on the rain and at night. If we had blindfolds, it's like the perfect thing.
Number 81, Paul Miles. Paul Miles is just kind of having a quiet race.
Yeah, he's got Dylan. He had Sauer right behind him. It looks like Sauer's dropped back quite a bit.
So he's like about 16 seconds down from P6 and about 3 seconds in front of P7. So,
Mr. Carbon on the pits. And
There's
the
number
pit
81.
lane is open.
so
You
Danny
want to go
and
check in and see how he's doing?
Nicolas
Peter
Alvarado on the pits.
Boostra in the pits. Yeah, Alvarado in the pits too. So unless they know something we don't, which I actually don't know if the weather forecast is 30 minutes out for them. Maybe it is.
Are they going to risk slicks?
No, I would not.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I
I
don't
would
think
not as well.
slicks works even when it's damp. It used to, but they changed that in one of the recent patches to where slicks in damp weather are virtually ice skates. or regular
Yes.
shoes on ice. They just don't work.
No way you're braking with slicks in these conditions.
That puts Blaine Hall back into first place with Rados right on his heels.
Yeah,
Danny-
Blaine going wide
Danny's-
into that corner.
Danny is out of the pits. Nick is out of the pits too. A little
He
bit
had
behind
damage,
him.
though.
He did have damage, which I'm going to say he didn't elect to fix.
True.
No, he's been making pretty good time through the field even with that damage, so I don't see him sitting there fixing it.
Yeah, so now we got Rados catching up to Hall.
And they're catching up to a back marker. That looks like
Beverage?
Cosette,
Oh, Cassette.
one of the new drivers who's having some issues out there today.
Oh.
So Rados dives
Right,
into the
Rados.
pits.
That's a dive into the pits. That's
Yep.
awesome.
So now we got Blaine into some clean air again. Hopefully he can calm himself down and start putting in good laps again, because he's been about a second off pace consistently. So something must have happened.
I was going to say before Mr. Carbon went to the pits, Blaine picked his shit up, and he was actually hounding Carbon. So maybe he found something he had lost.
Now we have Nick Alvarado on Carl Big after the pit stop. And the question is, with Rados diving in like that, did he get the car shut down before the line? Because we know after last week that the pit entry markers can be taken out.
True.
And we had a couple people get some penalties because of that last week.
Yeah, Manito Alvarado got a penalty for taking board.
And Alvarado has already pit this week. So
So
we're
is
going to see
the
round 2.
basically what you're saying
I-
is the pit entry speed limit sign still standing.
Yeah, let me check
No.
if those
Oh no!
if those
Carl
boards
goes
still out.
wide into the last turn, drifts the corner basically, and now he's getting flashed by Nick.
Yeah, but that's just how those guys communicate. That's Nick saying, hey, you better watch it because I'm right here.
Or he just wants to piss him off.
Yeah, and Carl going for the Tokyo drift line. He is in a Nissan GTR, so I mean it does make sense.
Rados out of the pit right behind him? It is. So Rados comes out of the pit behind.
So Nick
Carl
does
and
have the
Nick.
inside going to turn 4 and 5, going back into the back straight now. So I think he
Carl runs a
actually
little wide on
might
the exit.
have a
Fair
better...
Sadie diving into the pits.
Oh no, Paul Miles drive through for speeding in the pit lane.
And as we say that, Nick does get the spot on Carl Big. Goes up the inside. Can he hold it?
Yeah,
And that
that's
looks
just a
like that
good
was
pass.
a clean overtake going down into the first hairpin there.
See, if he can do that with damage, then I don't see any point in fixing it.
Guys, I have visuals. The pit boards are still there.
The board's still there. Okay, so that's just a mistake on Miles' part.
Yep.
And that's going to be 2 weeks in a row for Miles and speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah. I don't know how many people practice their pit entries
Shimilio on the pits.
before these races. Yeah, we got Ferris Sadie, Brian Curzon, Chemilio, Greg Billingsley's in the pits. We'll see where he comes out.
Shimilio 19th? What happened? Sorry,
Shimilio-
Billingsley 19. Billingsley 19. He's a pro. What happened?
I think Chimilio has been getting some